What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to another Final Order Cutoff speculation and recommendations video. And I just want to start off by apologizing to everyone who really enjoys this video series for missing 2 out of the last 3 weeks. But my summer has been ultra packed with lots of family stuff, getting my kids to camp, bringing my kids to softball games. It has just been a very busy summer, and it's been really hard for me to find the extra time to make these videos. But guys, I'm going to do my best to make sure I do not miss another Final Order Cutoff video through the rest of the summer. And then once we're into the school year, it's a lot easier for me because my kids are at school. I'm not running to camps and everything else. So I hope I can keep that promise, but guys, you know what? Family always will come first. So, what is this video all about? Well, this is Final Order Cutoff speculation and recommendations. Guys, I take a look at every single book that's on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff, and I check covers and I check the guts for anything that you and me can speculate on, so that way we can try to make this hobby fund itself. But guys, there's also recommendations. Guys, I read the synopsis for every single book on Final Order Cutoff, but I also check all the new number ones, trying to figure out if there's any stories that we have to pick up because the stories sound so freaking amazing. But sadly, the new number ones this week really weren't all that interesting to me, so there are no recommendations. So this is a full speculation video. So guys, let's go ahead and dive into today's video with covering my 3 weekly speculation reminders. Now, if you guys are seasoned speculators or you guys have seen this video series before, you guys know this. Look down in the description below. There are timestamps. You guys can skip right ahead to Final Order Cutoff cover lever picks. But if you guys are new to speculation or new to this video series, please hear these 3 weekly speculation reminders. And the first one is the easiest, but it's also the most important. And that is, you guys have to do your own research. I'm going to present some information to you guys today, but what I need you to do is go check other comic book YouTubers you trust, other comic book websites that you trust, and other comic book apps that you trust. Gather the most information possible so that way you guys can make the best decisions possible for yourself. Because remember, you guys are spending your own hard-earned money on these books. It's not my money, it's your money. Now, the second reminder for you guys is that there are delays with comic books. So sometimes the book will show up multiple times on Final Order Cutoff, and that is because its release date got moved for one reason or another. Now, the third and final reminder that I have for you guys is that I'm recording this video on Thursday. Today is Thursday, July 11th of 2024, and DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and all the independent publishers have until Friday, I believe at 5 p.m. Eastern, to lock in what books are going to be on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. So that means after I record and edit this video, they could add or remove books to this weekend's Final Order Cutoff that might be amazing for speculation. So what I suggest you do is to follow these 2 places. First up is the Comic Book Frontier. It is a fantastic Facebook group run by my good friend Dal, and he will update his Final Order Cutoff list all the way up until this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates, which we'll cover in just a second. And the second place is coverprice.com. They are one of the best comic book websites, especially if you're into secondary market data for comic books. But they also put out a great Final Order Cutoff speculation list every single weekend. So guys, before you guys finalize your orders, make sure you're checking the Comic Book Frontier and coverprice.com. All right, guys, those are my 3 weekly speculation reminders. Let's go ahead and cover this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates. Alright guys, if you're interested in picking up any of the books that I'm going to show in today's video, you guys need to get your pre-orders in by July 15th. And this includes DC, Marvel, all the independent publishers. They've all finally agreed upon one Final Order Cutoff date, which is amazing, and it makes our lives so much easier. But guys, the main reason why you want to get your pre-orders in is that you can save up to, I believe, 20% off the cover price of these books. And if you're going to speculate on a book, why not make that additional 20% profit just by pre-ordering by July 15th. That would be the smart thing to do if you truly are going to speculate on any of these books. Alright guys, that is this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates. Let's go ahead and dive into the speculation by covering my cover lever picks. Alright guys, we got some really cool covers landing on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff, and these are the ones that I think could possibly do well on the secondary market, either right out of the gate or in the future. So let's go ahead and get this list started. And first up is Absolute Power issue number 2. Now this is the cover H, which is the raised UV foil variant done by Ben Oliver. So the artwork on this cover I think is absolutely amazing. It is so freaking cool. But the reason why I put it on this list is because it is that raised UV foil. Now I have not seen issue number 1 and how good the raised UV foil looked on that one, but guys, this cover right here is absolutely amazing. And if the raised foil is the color on the Amazon robot, that would look so freaking cool. And the fact that it's raised is even cooler. All right guys, next up is Gotham City Sirens issue number 1 with the cover C variant done by Ji-Hung Lee, featuring Catwoman. This is absolutely gorgeous. It is beautiful, and there is a little bit of spec in this book. Now, Ji-Hung Lee is doing a variant for each issue. There's going to be 4 issues in total, and they're going to come out week after week after week, so 4 weeks in a row. And yeah, they're all absolutely gorgeous, but this one is my favorite. Now, guys, next up is Gotham City Sirens issue number 1 with the cover H, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Ben Harvey. Now, this cover is not his best, I will admit, but this does feature the Sirens. You got Catwoman, you got Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, and then you got Punchline in the back. It's a ratio book, so maybe in the future this cover might do well. Maybe, I don't know. I'm giving you guys the information. You guys do what you want with it. Next up is also Gotham City Sirens issue number 1. Now this is the 1:50 ratio variant done by Terry Dodson. It's a 1:50. It features the Sirens. Maybe. All right, guys, next up is probably my favorite cover visually of the week. This is Fantastic Four issue number 23 with the variant cover done by Alexander Lozano. This is gorgeous in my opinion. It is so good. It features the Thing, obviously, and he's doing like a punching motion, and he just looks epic. So freaking cool. Now guys, next up is Spider Society issue number 1 with the 1:100 virgin ratio variant done by Artgerm. In my opinion, this is not... In my opinion, this is not Artgerm's best, but this does feature Ghost Spider on the cover, and this does have a little bit of speculation in the guts. So you got a beautiful cover, and then you got something in the guts. All right, guys, let's continue. Next up is Star Wars Darth Vader issue number 49 with the variant cover done by Dyke Ruan. Now, this is the penultimate issue to this run. I saw that issue number 50 is going to be the final issue of this current Star Wars Darth Vader run, and this is just a Dyke Ruan cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now guys, next up is Venom issue number 36 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by John Jang. This is just a gorgeous cover in my opinion. It's a great John Jang. Venom looks epic. Spider-Man looks, oh, I guess fine, but it's all about Venom on this cover. I think this is a gorgeous ratio cover. Now next up is X-Men issue number 2 with the 1:100 virgin ratio variant done by J. Scott Campbell. It's a Campbell and it's magic. It's not amazing in my opinion, but it's also J. Scott Campbell, and again, it's a high ratio book. 2 more covers, guys. Next up is Kill All Immortals issue number 2 with the cover B variant done by Ivan Tao. This is really good. Really good. Now, what might help this book is if this story is actually really good. Now, issue number 1 came out yesterday. My copy will probably not get to me in a little bit over a week because of the hurricane that hit Texas. My comic shop is down in Texas. My shipment from last week is delayed. It's not coming until, it was supposed to come usually on Tuesday. It's not going to come until like next week on Tuesday. So my books are unusually delayed a little bit longer. But if this story is really good, I can see this cover doing well on the secondary market in the future. Now, the final cover is a little bit of a goof, but there could possibly be some firsts on this cover. Let's go ahead and show you what it is. This is Batman issue number 151 with the cover E, which is the swimsuit variant done by Olivier, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Copel. Now, is this the first Bat Speedo ever shown on a cover? Or is this the first Bat swimming pool? Because in the background it does say Bat Sauna and Bat Gym, so is this the first Bat swimming pool? I don't know. Obviously this is a little bit of a goof, but I love the artwork on this cover. Oliver Copel is a fantastic artist, and this is really cool in my opinion. All right guys, those are my cover lover picks for this weekend's final order cutoff. Let's go ahead and move over to the second prints, Facsimiles and Beyond. All right, guys, we're gonna kick this list off with the facsimiles, and there are 2. First up is Police Comics issue number 1, the facsimile edition. This has the first appearance of Plastic Man, the Human Bomb, Firebrand, and Phantom Lady. Next up, we got Betty and Me issue number 16. Now, this is an innuendo cover, and if you read what the word bubbles on the cover say, it says, "Archie, did you have any trouble rescuing me?" And he says, I sure did, Betty. I had to beat off 3 other guys. That is a really amazing cover. Now guys, next up is Blood Hunt Red Band issue number 1 with the second print variant done by Pepe Larraz. The next 4 books are all second prints of Blood Hunt Red Band issue number 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're all on this weekend's final order cutoff. So if you think these might sell well on the secondary market and these bloody variants, now is your time to pick them up. Now we have 2 more books to talk about. Next up is X-Men issue number 1 with the second print variant done by Ryan Stegman. And the last book is Charm City issue number 2 with the second print variant done by Val Dalmelin. Alright guys, those are all the second prints, facsimiles, and beyond. Let's go ahead and dive into the few books that have a little something in the guts. Alright guys, one last reminder before we dive into the books that have a little something in the gut is to make sure you are checking coverprice.com and the comic book frontier every single week. Both Al and the guy who writes the column for coverprice.com find additional books that I do not find. They are much better at this than I am, or at least they have more time than I do, because again, I make this video on Thursday because it fits within my schedule. So guys, just one last time, check those 2 places before you finalize any orders. Alright guys, the first book that I found that had a little something in the guts is Gotham City Sirens issue number 1. Now this has the first team appearance of the Nasty Boys, which is a group of himbo, which I guess is supposed to be bimbo, but with an H at the end, group of cowboy henchmen, which sounds really silly, and I don't think that's gonna be good speculation, but guys, I gotta give you the information. Now guys, next up is Spider-Boy issue number 10 with the first meetup of Spider-Boy and the Spider Warriors. And after that, we have Spider Society issue number 1. Now, the solicitation mentions every Spider character you know and love, and some you haven't met yet. So that means there's going to be some new Spiders in this series. All right, guys. After that, we have the Ultimates issue number 3 with the introduction of the Ultimate She-Hulk. And after that, we have Venom issue number 36 with the first cover appearance of Old Man Venom, which is an older version of Dylan Brock, who's come back from the future to try to help the current version of Dylan Brock. I have no idea what's going on in this story. I did read the synopsis. It sounds a little crazy, but on this cover, which is obviously an homage to Amazing Spider-Man or the Punisher, something or other, which is the first appearance of the Punisher, we get the first appearance of Old Man Venom. Alright guys, the final book that I found that had a little something in the guts, which I actually found on Key Collector. I did not read this from the synopsis, so they obviously have more information than I do. They are saying the series will introduce Zyber, a hero with electronic-based powers, and X-Factor will face teams called X-Term and the Mutant Underground. So I think from what they're saying, the series will introduce. That does not mean this character of Zyber will be introduced in issue number 1. So definitely do your research, see if you can find more information to see if this character is going to be introduced in issue number 1, or if this team of X-Term or Mutant Underground is going to be in this first issue. So guys, make sure you guys are doing your own research. Alright guys, that is everything that I found that had something in the guts. I'm going to come back and give you guys my spec picks of the week. Alright guys, so I don't think there's anything super duper strong on this weekend's final order cutoff that I could say, go whole hog, buy a bunch of different copies. But there are some interesting books that I could see doing well on the secondary market that are going to do better than the other ones that I showed you guys. So let's go ahead and cover those ones. So first up, we got Gotham City Sirens issue number 1 with the cover C variant done by Ji-Hung Lee. I think this is probably one of the best Ji-Hung Lee covers I've seen. It features Catwoman, which is a very popular character. She looks sexy, which helps the cover sell, so I could possibly see this one doing well in the future. I don't think right out of the gate, but maybe 10 years or so in the future. Let's move on. I really do like the Fantastic Four 23 variant cover by Alexander Lozano. This is an epic thing cover, but there's nothing in the guts. But maybe just this cover art could do well again, I think, in the future. After that, we got Spider Society issue number 1 with the 1 in 100 virgin ratio variant done by Artgerm, with the possibility of there being a spider in the guts and this being a Artgerm and it's a virgin and it's a high ratio. I could see all those mixed together doing something, and it's also featuring Spider-Gwen. That's also going to help this book a little bit. Now, if we keep going, there's also X-Men issue number 2 with the 1 in 100 version ratio variant done by J. Scott Campbell. With the fact that that's a high ratio and it's done by J. Scott Campbell and it has magic on the cover, possibility right there. And after that, let's go all the way down and go to, what is the next book? Yeah, Spider Society issue number 1. Now, spiders sell so well on the secondary market when they're really cool. When they're really cool, they sell well on the secondary market, aka Spider-Punk is a great example of a character that blew up out of the Spider-Verse. So if we get a new spider introduced that is super duper cool in this first issue, I can see this book doing well on the secondary market. Other than that, I don't think there's any books that I showed you that I think are really strong candidates for really good speculation. But guys, if I am wrong and there's a book that I showed that you think is going to do super well on the secondary market, tell me down in the comments below, but tell me why your reasoning, and if I agree with you, guys, I will pin it to the top so that way everyone watching the video can see your comment first. All right, guys, that is it for this weekend's final order cutoff, but that's not the end of today's video. No, we got to cover next week's new comic book day cover level picks that I think could do well on the secondary market. All right, you guys know I love an amazing cover. They are just like, I don't know, they are the first things that you see when you see a comic book, and there are some bangers coming out next week that I think could do well on the secondary market. So let's go ahead and cover these. And the first one up is Superman issue number 16 with the cover D variant done by Pablo Villalobos. And if you're not part of the Discord, which is linked down in the description below, we have been talking about this cover ever since it was put on previews, and it was just a black and white version of this cover. Now it's colored, and it looks, I don't know if it's better, but it still is so gorgeous. You got Zatanna and Villalobos crushed this cover. It is so good. Now it is open order, but I can see this book just selling off the shelves and just like everyone's gonna want it because this is just, it's not overly slutty. It is like classy, but still sexy, and it's just, I don't know, it is so good. I already pre-ordered myself 2 copies of this. I probably should have gone more intense because I wanted one for myself and one possibly to sell, but guys, this cover is so good. Now guys, next up is another Villalobos cover with Catwoman issue number 67. This is the cover C variant, again done by Pablo Villalobos. This is probably my favorite Catwoman cover that he's done. He's done a bunch of these purple suit ones, and this one featuring her in France, and she's on like the ledge, and you got the like Eiffel Tower in the background, and she's got her whip. Why is her whip doing this? I don't know. It looks cool, and it's gorgeous. So gorgeous. Now next up is Scarlet Witch issue number 2 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Dyke Ruan. It's a ratio. It's done by Dyke Ruan. His artwork is so good. Tentacles sell. I don't know why, but some people really are into tentacles. But I think this is a gorgeous cover. All right, guys, 3 more covers. Next up is Namor issue number 1 with the 1:100 Virgin ratio variant done by Alex Maleev. This is awesome. This is a really great cover. I pre-ordered the trade dress because I didn't want to go in for the 1:100 ratio variant, but if you have the money, I could see this possibly doing well on the secondary market. 2 more covers. Next up is Usagi Yojimbo the Crow issue number 4 with the cover C variant, which is the 1:40 ratio variant done by a name I don't even want to try to pronounce and butcher. But guys, there's been a 1:40 ratio variant for every single issue of this book, and they have all sold super well on the secondary market. The thing is, not many stores are ordering 40 copies of Usagi Yojimbo the Crow. So there are very few copies of them out there. And if you can somehow get your hands on a copy of this, it's most likely going to sell like really well. So keep an eye on this. Maybe talk to your LCS. Maybe to like talk to someone who has an in somewhere else and get yourself a copy of this book, because this would be a great bet to make a little bit of money on. The final cover is Usagi Yojimbo the Crow issue number 4 with the cover B variant done by David Nakayama. I think this is a great cover. I think it's really cool. Usagi Yojimbo looks freaking epic. He's in a great action pose, and it's just a great version of this character, in my opinion. And I can see David Nakayama fans really liking this as well, and because I already pre-ordered myself a copy of this because I thought it was really cool, and I've never ever bought a Usagi Yojimbo book before, so maybe this book could be popular. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video, and I just want to thank everyone who's come back and watched this video from the beginning and all the way to the end. And I totally understand if you skip that whole intro section where I talk about, like, you know, my 3 reminders and everything else, you just jump right into the speculation. I don't hold that against you. But in case you just let it play and like, you know, give me the extra run minutes, I truly appreciate that, and I would call you a true freaking legend. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Now, last but not least, guys, if you guys liked that video and you enjoy comic book content, but you have not hit that subscribe button yet, I would just say, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notification, and smash that like button. All right, guys, that's it for this week. I hope you guys have a great weekend, a great final order cutoff if you guys are going to pre-order some books, and I'll catch you guys next week with the Wednesday pull list. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.